First of all, appreciate you all being here. Thanks for being here this afternoon. Injury update, as I always start with, really the only change has been, fortunately, we've been very healthy on the defensive side of the ball. But Justin Britt will be out for the remainder of the season. He'll have surgery a week from this Friday, I believe the Friday before our Syracuse game, and be ACL surgery and maybe more. We'll have to wait and see what happens when they actually do the surgery. So it's very disappointing for him. Certainly, he's a great kid. He's worked tremendously hard. And what we've done is we moved Mitch Morris. We did that in the game a little bit later on, but we moved Mitch Morris out to tackle, and then we'll move Brad McNulty up into center. So we've been kind of in that combination a little bit before in the multiple combinations we've had with our offensive line. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at there from that standpoint. Came out really very, very healthy in this game, except for that one injury. We now are preparing for Tennessee. They're a very good football team. It'll be another great stadium to play in, like it was last week. Another opportunity for us, and they're very, very impressive offensive football team. Quarterback is very, very talented. Been watching quite a bit of film on him. Very, very impressed. Got great receivers. Offensive line playing well. They've had a few struggles on defense. So we've had a few struggles on offense. So, they're a good football team, and obviously the game's very, very important to both teams, both programs, and I think for obvious reasons. So we're going to work real hard, prepare well, and hopefully go out and play with a great intensity level and focus on Saturday.
All the injuries obviously on the line, Evan has been your only guy that started every game, and obviously it's not.
I didn't even know that, so
not a situation
sure.
you would have wanted, but how impressive for his age is what he's done.
Oh, he's done a great job. You talk about coming out of high school, and all of a sudden you're playing the people we're playing, where we're playing them, how we're playing them, all on national TV and all those things. So Evan has just done a great job. He's very mature. For his age, competitively mature as far as, I think that's his wrestling background a lot too. Being in wrestling, you're in the arena by yourself, and you don't compete in wrestling, and you'll never be good, or you'll certainly won't be very competitive. So he's a great competitor, and he'll just do nothing but get better and better and better, and he'll work to be a great player here.
How much is Tennessee's offense kind of make your defense kind of adjust mentality a little bit? If you just look at their numbers, they look almost more like a Big 12 team as much as they throw the ball.
Yeah, they do. They do run the I formation though, run pro sets. They spread out. They do multiple things. They have an offensive line that's good. They got good running backs. They put one of the receivers at tailback sometimes. They do a lot of different things. But he's very, very impressive throwing. He's got great accuracy. He can extend the play. He can get rid of the ball. He saves sacks by getting rid of the football. He's just very, very impressive player. I've never really spent much time focusing on him. We weren't in the league last year, so I just not really haven't been around him. But it'll be different. It'll be a little bit different because they actually get the ball downfield and they throw it downfield, and that's they put a lot of yards and a lot of points on against a lot of people. So that's going to be our challenge. Our defense, we've been playing pretty good defense, but it's going to be another challenge from a different type of offense.
In looking back at Saturday and whatever you might have reviewed with James, how much did you feel that what he was not able to do was simply rust and getting back into the rhythm of things, and how much did you feel like he should have been able to make some of the plays that he did?
Well, first of all, I thought he did a lot of good things. You look at analyze. Look how we moved the football. We moved against one of the best defenses in the nation. So you take that away, he did a lot of good things. Him being James, him quarterbacking the way he does, extends the play, finds people open, gets a seam, hits a crease, even though he's a little bit limited running. All those things put tremendous pressure on defenses, and it was certainly nice to see that. And that's just the way he quarterbacks, and that's one of the great things. That his personality of quarterbacking fits well. Mostly mistakes that he made were just simply missed throws. He made one bad decision down the middle, and it was a man coverage with what we call a rat inside, so a player's inside. He kind of roams in the middle about 10, 15 yards, and he didn't see the guy and threw it in there. The other ones, he just, they were kind of easy interceptions because they were just thrown to people. The ball sailed on him several times, and it generally sail high when they go. And the reason is, in quarterback, when you throw off your back foot, and you don't transfer the weight to his front leg. His front leg's the one that he hurt, and a few weeks ago was in a walking cast. And that's just confidence that you can transfer your weight onto that and trust that leg. And there's no excuses. We always talk to our quarterbacks about being we call it about being responsible with the football. An irresponsible throw is a guy's open and you know where you're going and you miss him, and the ball goes to a defender just because of the accuracy. He never had that problem a year ago at all. I mean, not that he hit every ball where it's supposed to be. So this is just something that the guy's been through a lot. I mean, I don't care if people they're tired of hearing it, but the guy's been through an awful lot. Look, certainly what happened to him, in spring football, he's got major surgery. Doesn't throw all June, doesn't throw all July, throws in August, and is doing pretty darn good for the most part. And then re-injures his shoulder in a different area. He's out for a while, but and really working through that. Then he finally gets back, and his MCL, strained MCL. It isn't like this guy just has been getting all the work and everything's going good and he's just missing. And I compare it to golfing, and I know a lot of you guys are probably great golfers, and you have a lot of time to golf. But for a guy like myself, I don't, and I'm not very good. And the point being is, if you don't do it day in, day out, you lose something. You lose the little things that you have to be able to do. And so he's feeling really good, and he'll get better. The more practice he gets, he'll get 3 more good days of practice. He'll have more confidence in that left leg, and so I believe in him. And he takes a lot on himself. It's just the way he is, the way his personality is. But he's like a football coach. There's enough people beating you up out there without beating yourself up.
He was unusually down for him after the game. Did you have to pep him up a little bit?
We talked a little bit about it, but he just takes things personal, And by the way, we get our defense gets a great stop. They miss a field goal, and by the way, he drove us all the way down, and with 10 seconds left, he's throwing the end zone and win the game with a few seconds left. And if one of our young receivers didn't get out of bounds, we lost about 30 seconds. We normally would never lose there, and that's just lessons learned with a young player. But we're driving down to tie the game up, and who got us down there? So, he takes a lot on himself, but there's also a point you let go and you move on. And remember Peyton Manning, threw several interceptions one week and came back next week and threw 4 touchdown passes. That's just James got to mature through that, and we got to help him. And all the players got his back. Again, the guy's been through a lot.
Coach, TJ has 13 catches in the last 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
Seems a little bit down from his norm or average. Can you comment on that? Is there more options?
Well, we've had trouble throwing the football. I mean, that's pretty obvious. I mean, except for last week, we threw a little bit more. We decided to do that. We had good time of possession last week too. I mean, which is a little bit different. But Doyle, it's kind of if whoever doesn't get the ball, I get quizzed. So Doyle's getting the ball now. Let's get it to TJ. Okay, I'll get that fixed. Okay, so we'll get that taken care of. We want to get all the guys the ball. And a lot of times what we'll do is the defense dictates where the ball goes a lot of times, but just by reads. And so we might call his number 4 or 5 times, and he might get it one of those 5 times or maybe none. I've seen that happen before also. So I think it's a combination of those things. He remains, very positive. He's got great attitude. He's a great kid. But we, like always, certainly we want to get him the ball more than we get it to him.
You talked a lot about Sheldon, and he's obviously earned that attention, but Matt Hoke is kind of quietly developing as a player and made some good plays this week. You talk a bit about how he's come along.
Good observation, really. The last couple games, he's been a different player. This is his first year playing inside like that, and the amount that he's playing. And I think probably, I don't know, he might say him and Sheldon are different type players. He's a little bit more like Ziggy, more of a, just a bigger, more physical guy. And Sheldon has got that great quickness and he utilizes his athleticism and everything. But he's been making some plays. He has. And I think just experience. I think, when you get out there and you're not thinking the gap you have to do and those kind of things, then you get to the ball a little bit more. And I think you just become more active. But there's no question about it. He's playing different now than he did in the first part of the season. And he's also healthy. I mean, he's doing it week in, week out, and when you do that and you keep getting the reps over and over and over again, you're going to play better.
Ever since the first 3 games, penalties have been all over. Is there a common theme in that a little bit, or that you've seen?
Well, it's just discipline. Talk to our team about that. That's one of the, in our plan to win, that's one of the least, fewest penalties, and where you're not beating yourself, where you're giving up 100 yards penalties, your opponent's getting 10, so they're gaining 90 yards field position. So we look at and analyze that all the time. And as I talk to our football team, I always go back to, it's just discipline. You can be a tough, aggressive football team, but play smart. And knocking on wood, we've been playing a lot smarter. We're not making some of the stupid mistakes that we'd made earlier.
Gary, not that you would in any way call the Florida game a moral victory of any sort. But
No.
did it give you guys any reassurance at this point in the season about your competitiveness level with top-tier SEC teams?
Well, I think we've learned some lessons maybe a little bit before as the season's gone on there. I think our preparation was really good. I think that's probably the difference. And we got in an environment that's a great college football environment. And if you're a competitor, you love being in play like places like that. And certainly I think our football team, when we prepare and do the right things, I think we can compete with anybody. And certainly we're as physical as anybody. But we got to finish, and I think that's kind of the lessons we learned from that in that game.
You talked about Matt Hope earlier, how it's a little bit like Ziggy in terms of what he can do, style plays.
Mhm.
But when you put him next to Sheldon, who's a gap guy, for field in that gap, do you want guys with contrasting styles like that? I mean, is that what works best for your defense?
Well, I think it kind of plays out that way a little bit for us, but certainly you take a bunch of Matt Hoax and you take a bunch of Sheldon Richardson. So I mean those guys. I think it works out well for us. I think you do. Sheldon's just different. I mean he's different than any defensive tackle I've been around because his athleticism for his size is just very, very unique. And the great thing about Sheldon too, and he's fun to watch because he's just a diehard competitor. I mean he goes. I mean that's how he plays football. He plays it with great passion, and that's inspiration to everybody. And I'm sure what Matt watches all the plays he makes and what he does, and that makes a guy like Matt Hoke play better. As he watches and learns things.
As regard to Sheldon, has his motor actually improved this year because he's in better shape, because he got that entire summer with you?
Yeah, it's all part of the deal. It's being in the program and being trained, with Coach Ivy and our strength and conditioning people and the discipline and all those other things that apply. That's how you become better. But he loves to play, and he's got a great motor. I mean, he goes, and you get a guy with ability like that, and you get a guy that is as competitive as he is. Then you got a special player, and that's what he is. Oh yeah, what happens is it's also his knees are healthier, a week healthier, and so he's also got more confidence. We saw him the week before he was like limping on it. This week he was running pretty decent. And what happens is every rep that he gets in practice on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, and we throw an awful lot. You're working on fundamentals. It gets right back to fundamentals, and just working on it over and over and over again, transferring the weight and doing those things. And so that's there's no question about it. That you're just not going to automatically just you got to put the reps in and the fundamental work in to improve. You just can't. It's not going to magically happen. And so there's no question it can help this week.
There's been a lot of talk of the defense this year, but really this is the third year in a row where statistically it's been a really good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the athletes you guys are getting on defense, or is that Coach Steckles, what he's doing?
Well, first of all, Coach Steck and the whole defensive staff do a great job. But I think they'd be first to say is, we've got a lot of good players, and we all coach better and we got good players, and we've been very healthy. We've been very, very healthy, except losing Will, I think, or Xavier Gooden, for a game here, a game there. We've been across the board healthy. If we've lost, 4 of our top 8 defensive linemen, we might not be talking about this. So that's just the way it goes, and that's the way it works out. But no, this is perhaps the best defense we've had since I've been here. And so it's great to see, But I think Coach Steck and defensive staff are doing a great job.
Was Saturday Dorale's best game in
I did a lot of good things, no question about it. He gets better and better. If you were out at practice, you would see a guy that he's getting better every week in practice. He was a different player than he was 4 weeks ago. And again, the more reps he gets, the more things he does, the more things he learns, the more you'll see him do some of the things that he does. And even that pass that we threw in the corner of the end zone, that one was way out of bounds. Remarkably, he caught that. I think he caught that thing. He just couldn't get us to keep his feet in. So he's doing a lot of good things, but he's working really hard, and that's how you become a good player.
He maybe didn't have to be the most physical receiver in high school, but how have you seen him develop to using his size and using his body now down the field?
I think it's working for him. I mean, what's going to happen? What he finds is, you get some real top level corners going to get in his face a little bit, and that's where the tech, not only using strength development and athleticism, but the techniques that he's taught. And he's playing against some really good people that know how to get their hands on you and to cover well. And so he gets caught up a little bit, but he'll learn the techniques that Coach Hill will teach him that'll help him, and then also getting stronger. Certainly help him too, and experience helps him.
Here you'll be facing Cordero Patterson, Tennessee this week. You'll face Manziel a couple weeks from now, and then the guys from Georgia, the running backs. Is it unusual to see so many successful first-year guys in the SEC?
I really can't compare the SEC. I know in the Big 12 there's been a lot of first-year players that are exceptional, that really do a good job. I think it's. It happens, and I can't really compare in this league. In the Big 12, we saw that happen quite a bit. But obviously, there's some players that are really playing at a high level.
With Patterson and Hunter, is that as good a 1-2 combo?
Pretty good, pretty impressive. I mean, they make a lot of plays, and they can run, and they have a real good scheme, and there are reasons why they get the yards and the points that they do. That'll be a real challenge for us. It'll be a little different type of, as we mentioned before, a little bit different type of challenge for us.
Coach, going back to James, I think it was last week or earlier in the week in your coaches, the conference call, you said that you had James in your office and you told him how proud you were of him. Can you talk a little bit more about what that meeting was?
Well, I talk to players. I had a few players in this week. I talk to players all the time. And mostly it's confidential. That's why I shut the door and talk to them. But, it's my job to make sure players are doing okay. And, quarterbacks, get over-critiqued and analyzed by everybody. And I just always want him to know where I'm coming from. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. And so I've been doing that with every quarterback since I've ever coached. What's that? I just told you it was confidential. We good? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it very much. Thank you.